I'm here as well.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Thank you, Faiza. So, good evening again, everyone. Thanks again for joining in, especially on your off day. I really appreciate you guys coming in and attending the session. It will really help you for today's session, which is more on customer services. And we have today with us Faiza Javed, who will be covering this topic in which we will be explaining how customer services can be used, what are the benefits, how do we use customer service and stuff like that. So without any further ado, I would like to hand over the session to Faiza. And please feel free if you guys have any questions, post over the chat window, or you can raise your hand in middle, so we can ask you to unmute yourself and ask a question. So over to you, Faiza.
All right, thank you. So can you guys hear me before I start properly?
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
Yeah, we can.
We can hear.
All right. So I'm about to share my screen. Just let me know when you can see my screen.
Yeah, we can see your screen now. Please
All right. So
proceed. Best of luck,
okay.
Faiza.
All right. Thank you. So are you seeing the presentation right?
Yep, we are.
All right. Okay, so hello everyone. Welcome to the Dynamics 365 Customer Engagement Training. So today the topic that we are going to cover is about basic customer service module of the customer engagement. And we are going to cover some basic high level modules, basic high level components of this particular module, so that at the end, by the end of this session, you will have an idea that what customer service provides you, what are the benefits, and where and when you can use this. All right. So before starting that, let me introduce myself. I am Faiza Khan. Currently, I'm working as a lead functional consultant in Magic Global. I have almost like 9+ year experience in multiple domains like software testing and then requirement gathering analysis. And now I'm leading a functional team in Magic Global. I have almost around 3+ years experience in Dynamics 365 CM Power Platform before I had experience in AX 2012. So this is my quick introduction. Now let's move to our basic agenda. So, however, we will be recording this session. In case if anybody missed anything, you can just go through the recording. And in case of any questions, then we will try to answer with the best of our abilities. All right. So before moving to the basic components, let me further explain that why customer service in Dynamics 365. That's the most important thing that we need to understand, that why should we use this module of Dynamics 365 customer engagement before moving to its components, right? So I would say that customer service in Dynamics 365, if you guys have attended the sessions of our previous sessions of the customer engagement, the last session we had was of a customer engagement sales module, right? So customer service is actually a kind of giving further value to your sales module. In the sales module, last time what we saw that how you can gain your customer by creating leads, by creating opportunities, by sending out them the quotation, right? And then you will have your proper customer dealing on which you will have a contract that you are gonna sell them some sort of a products, and you, as per your sales module, you gain your customer. Okay. Now, once you gain your customer and you're providing them the services, what's next? The next is that you need to monitor that how good you're providing the services, how satisfied your customer is with you, and what are the improvements you need to do with your customer. This is what your customer service will help you to provide. Once you have your customer, and now in case if you want to have some feedback, or in case of any issues that customer has, any complaints, any any kind of a scenario that comes across with your customer, that's what customer service will help you to maintain, so that you can prove your services and improve your services as well. So what is the basic thing in the customer service? There are a lot of things in the customer service, but we will go through the very basic components on which the customer service works on. The pillar, I would say, is the case, right? The case management we will go through with the flows as well. We will go through with the scenarios, and I'll also demonstrate you directly into the Dynamics 365 as well. But before that, to understand that the basic core pillar of customer service is your case. Case is something that once you have your your contract with your customer, and now you need to have any sort of issues, or any, you need to monitor any kind of issues, and customer calls you and say that, hey, I have issues, or I need to have some sort of an information. Case is the kind of a container that will consist of all those information. We will go further in detail what exactly the case provide and what are its related other components that actually works with the case. So here, if you see here, the basic things you can see, the case has its activities, all right. Then there will be some routing rules where we will see that how your case can be routed to your multiple teams, multiple users, based on your cases criteria. Then you have queues. So once you set up your routing rules, then those based on the routing rules, your cases will be automatically be routed to the particular queues. Then you have entitlements. Entitlements are nothing but a kind of a contract that once you have your customer, you can also have a contract with your customer. We will go in further detail that what that contract can be and what are the information that actually resides in that contract. Then you have some SLA rules. SLA rules are actually your service level agreement rules, which actually gives you the provision to monitor yourself as well. Let's suppose if you, and it gives the confidence to the customer as well, that let's suppose if an issue arises and we are managing that, how fast we can answer you, how fast we can resolve your case. That will also help the satisfaction to the customer and also help us to improve our services in case if you're not providing the services on the right time. Then you have some knowledge based articles that will support you, support the case, support the user who is actually working on that particular case, to fasten that particular process. So we'll go into these each and every component in further detail in Dynamics 365, and then we will go with one complete scenario that how your case process will work, how you are going to receive the call, how the team is going to be assigned to that, then how you gonna work on the particular case module, and then the entitlements, the contract with that customer will be assigned to that case. What should happen to the SLA rules? What if I don't respond in time? What will happen to that particular case? And then the knowledge article that will help me to support my case and resolve my case. So this is a high-level Dynamics 365 customer service with the basic components, which are the core components of Dynamics 365 customer service. Okay. So before moving directly to the environment, I've just taken a bit of screenshot just to give you a high-level idea of how the case form looks like. Okay, so this is a snapshot of multiple tabs, but these are the basic and high-level things of the case. On the top, if you will see here, this is the main thing where you actually tell, sorry, actually I have a bad throat day today, so apologize if I just took a break for cough out my lungs, so I'll let you know. So this is the case form, all right, and the basic information that against which customer is this case about. Okay, so this is your main thing, the first thing that you're going to tell that this case is about this particular customer or the contact. right? What are the other things that case resides is about the timeline activity. This is the similar timeline, same timeline that every C customer engagement entity has. And in this timeline, you can see all the email activities or the phone call activity that has happened against that case. Then you also have the information around the contract. So I talked about that once you have a relationship with your customer in your sales module, then you build up a contract between them. It's completely optional. It's not necessary that every customer will always have a contract, but let's suppose if there is a very, a valuable customer, some kind of a gold customer against which we have to build a contract, then you can build a contract and then you can associate to your case as well. Okay. Also, here we talked about some SLAs as well. So here you can see there is also a tab of SLA where you can monitor, and this also we will see in a while. This particular section, this will SLA KPI section that will help you to monitor what is happening against a case based on the SLA. Are we working on time? Are we responding on time? Are we on track to respond on time? And if we are late, what are the reasons, so that we can prioritize that particular case. Further, what other functionalities that case provides us is that there are some relationships between the cases as well. As you can see, there's a big complete tab of case relationships, and there are multiple sections where you can merge two cases, and then you can see which case has been merged together. Then there's also a concept of parent-child case. Let's suppose if you have received one query from the customer that they want to know knowledge about this particular product, okay, or they want to know about any service related thing. That's a simple case. Right now you want to have it further divided into multiple teams or multiple cases, so that different teams can work on it onto different areas. So you can create a child case out of it, out of your one parent case, and that parent child case will be linked to your parent case. Okay, but they all will be linked together. We'll see that how these are linked together and what are the out of the box um, options that CE provides us to manage those parent-child relationships. So this is where you can manage if you feel that there's a parent case and this further needs to divide it into multiple cases. You can also create the child cases out of it. Also, we have knowledge base articles. As we talked about knowledge base articles, nothing is just a kind of an article. Most ongoing articles are the most common articles in your company, or in that will help the support person whoever is working on the case to help you to help to resolve that case. Okay, and we can further do further things to the articles, knowledge base articles. We can send out that particular article to the customer as well. We can link to the case. We're gonna see that in a while. Here on the top, we have some of the options on the case that has been provided. The major options are save and route to the case. We'll see how you can route to a particular team or a particular queue based on the routing rules that we are going to set, and system will automatically route based on the conditions and the criteria. And once you resolve the case, you can see the resolve case option. You can also cancel a case. Let's suppose if the case is not needed or is being opened in due to some sort of an error, you can also cancel a case. Also, you can assign this particular, since case can be worked, it's not necessary that only one person is working on a single case. There could be multiple persons working on the same case of different areas and passing to different persons once they work. So this is assign and assigned to queue functionality that will help you to either assign the particular case to some user, or you can directly assign this case to a queue. Queue can have multiple users within. So if you don't know that which user needs to work in, you can simply assign it to the queue, and people who are responsible to work on the cases for that queue will automatically pick them. And we will see that how from the queue a user can just go and pick the case or release the case and work on that. So we'll further go in detail in the queue. So The next slide and probably the last slide, and then we will jump into the Dynamics 365. We'll go through this particular flow. This is a high level flow that what Dynamics 365, a scenario based provide you. Here you can see that there's a goal customer which has a contract. Entitlement you can also say as a related term as contract to better understand. So this is a gold customer which has a case, 15 cases entitlement. I'll explain you what does 15 cases means then when we will go into the entitlement. And it has somehow contacted you with from multiple channels, emails, phone calls, some portal. So this is something it has contacted, and based on some sort of rules, the case has been created. Let's suppose we will also go with one of the flow that how the case can be created directly from the email. We will go with the high level flow. So either you can create a case directly into Dynamics 365, or we can automate it to automatically create a case based on the activities. Now, once the case has been created, it is routed to a particular queue based on the routing rules. And once it's been routed to the queue, now the agent is working onto the particular case, and it's gonna identify that particular case, research the case, how it's gonna research the case based on the knowledge articles that we have in the system, and then resolve the case. Once the case has been resolved, it will be minus from the entitlements that we're gonna see. So this is a process of end-to-end, one high-level process what the customer service case management flow can provide you. Right, so the next is, let's go to the demo, and then the things that we have gone through right now into the presentation, we'll see into the Dynamics 365. All right, so can everyone see my Dynamics 365 screen now?
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
Yes.
Okay, so this is my trial instance, and how you can create your trial instance. We already have I believe the first session it was, you can go through the recordings and see that how you can create your own trial instance for your needed module, and just play around it, practice it, and do your experiments and explore the Dynamics 365 capabilities. So this is the out of the box completely trial instance, and what I have is simply customer service. So the first thing that you're going to see is so many apps, but the app that we are going to work today for the customer service is this customer service hub. All right. Give me a 2 minute, please.
Well, a great going, Faiza. Thank you so much for your kind time during this hard time. In the meantime, when Faiza will join us back, if anybody have any query or concern, please raise your hands. Okay, so we have Hamza. Okay, Hamza. Please go ahead with your question.
Ma'am, I have a question regarding this panel. How we get the access D365?
You mean to this trial instance?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so for that, I can share here the link for the session that we just did. In our first session, we cover up how we can create a trial instance. In the chat, we can share you the links from where you can get
Sure.
your own trial instance. And after creating
Right.
that, you can have this customer service app installed.
Right, ma'am. Thank you for
You're
answering.
welcome. Okay, second we have Sana. Sana, you have questions?
Hi, Amna. First of all, thanks for this session. This is really helpful. So my question is regarding that how does both applications communicate with each other? When I say both applications, I'm talking about D365 FinOps or Finance and customer service. So is it like we actually create customer in finance and then we, you know, post the sale order or, you know, the initial sales agreement in finance, and then when we talk about customer engagement or, you know, the customer services or case management, so is there any kind of relation or integration
Yeah.
out of the box between those among you know, both environments?
Mm-hmm. Yes, Sana. Basically, this D365 is a suite that is
Mm-hmm.
based and that is built on top of Microsoft Dataverse. Dataverse is basically a common data service layer that
Mm-hmm.
automatically link these modules together over a single database that is we called as Dataverse. So for system entities like that we have contact, account, contract,
Mm-hmm.
for all these entities, we have out of the box integration available. But for our custom entities, we need to create integrations using some sort of customizations that is available for CDS, that is for Dataverse. We will
All right.
cover up these
Mhm.
integration scenarios later in our advanced sessions.
All right, brilliant. I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to it. Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Yeah. Yeah. So Amna and Sana, just to add.
Um, you are not audible, Atif. Can you please come again? Can you please unmute yourself?
Okay. Can you hear me? Hello.
Yes.
Sorry. So what I was saying, this is for the advanced topic. So for the all the other audience, so don't get panic. That's sound very complicated. So Fin and Ops is completely different module, and that's completely isolated at the moment from the CE. So keep the
Hmm.
focus on the CE. But if there is anything else, Sana, you required and require more detail, then feel free to get in touch anywhere offline, and we can give you more detail how you can get these two applications connected. Yeah.
Brilliant. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Amna, and thank you, Atif. So shall we continue now?
Absolutely.
All right. So now we are in the customer service hub app. Okay. So we're not gonna go into each and every menu item that we have, but we will go into the basic and the most important components for the customer service, right? The first thing is the dashboard. You can see we have some built-in dashboard for the customer service. You can just simply click over here and you can see so many already out of the box provided customer service dashboards. However, these are all configurable. You can create your own dashboard based on your needs. So if you know about customer engagements is a highly, configurable thing, and is a user friendly. It's not something that you have to be a very technical person to configure any sort of an entities, fields, or dashboards or views. You just need to learn a bit and you will be able to configure yourself based on your needs. But as an out of the box custom engagement already provides you lots of things. Like you can see there are so many dashboards that are already there. Let's suppose the first default dashboard is the tier 1 dashboard, which is actually for the support team that are actually working on the cases, where you can see the active cases, your own resolved cases. If you are a logged in user, you will be able to see your resolved cases, your draft emails if there are any, and your activities that you have been performing. Furthermore, there are multiple views. The tier 2 dashboard, I would say, it's mostly kind of a managerial view dashboard, where a manager can see the entire view, that how many cases do we have in priority, how many are the active cases, how many cases are there based on the product. We're going to see that what does case has linked to the products as well, and also further monitor that what's happening with the queues here, and by the incident type, by the origins, how many cases that we are getting from emails, from phone, from Twitter, and how many cases that we have resolved. So there are further dashboard you can further explore. Once you have your trial instance, you can further explore each and every dashboard. Each and every dashboard has its own importance and it has its own different charts. so you can work on based on your needs. Further, what we have is activities. So activities has a major role in the customer service, because eventually if you start your case with there are out of the box activities like phone call activities, email activities, task, appointment, that gives you the out of the box provision to convert those activities into your case. We will show you, demonstrate you how. Let's suppose if you get a phone call and based on the phone call you realize that a case needs to be opened, that how the case will be open, we will walk through as well. So these activities you will, however, see in every module, be it sales, be it field service. This is used widely in each and every module. Furthermore, you will see here accounts, contacts, accounts and contacts against which you are actually creating the cases. These accounts and contacts are the ones that you have actually, been created against your sales module. Now, once you have a relationship that particular account, now here you can see the same account and contacts and further create the cases in this module. This is the most important thing that we gonna walk through. For now, I'll just open one of the case that's already there. However, when you're gonna, have create your trial instance, you will get some of the out of the box data as well, so that you can go through and see that how the particular record is already being created, and you can create and learn and by just practicing by creating your own records. So if I quickly just high level walk through that what is case, and then we will go further into detail in our scenario. I've already the screenshot that we have seen. This is what it's looked like in the Dynamics 365. This is the account detail where you're gonna select against which account your particular case is. You can tell the case title, what is it this case is about. This is a case number to uniquely identify. This is automatically generated and it uniquely identify your particular case. You can select the subject over here. We can also configure the subject. This subject is nothing but it actually will help you to categorize a particular case, and this can further help you in reporting purposes as well. Let's suppose if you want to see how many cases are there that has product issues, this subject, out of the box subject, will help you to categorize that as well. However, this is completely optional, but it gives you further classification of the case that you can configure your own self. This is the customer field, which is actually a contact, which is shown here over as a card. And then there's an origin. You can select the origin. As I was talking about the activities that are converted into the cases, you can select the origin that either this particular case has been created from the phone activity, from the email, from the web, or has any integration with the social networking. You can further add, customize, and configure this particular option set as well. So this is actually called as an option set. You can further add your value based on your needs. Now this is a product field. So it depends that let's suppose if you are having a case which is related to any product, you can select a product as well. If it's something related to any services or any other issue, you don't need to select the product. But let's suppose if in your sales module, you have some sort of a contract to sell any product for that customer. And if there is any issue for that particular product, you can have the product selected over here for that case. Then here's the entitlement that we talked about, the contract. If your particular account or customer has any contract, you can select the contract from here. If not, you can just leave the case as it is as well. This is the timeline activity where you can create multiple activities. Here you can see I've just created a task, and whatever is happening, if an agent is doing a phone call, if an agent is doing any appointment, it will all be stored against here in the timeline. Here in the recent cases, you can see that what are the other recent cases that has been performed against this particular contact, particular customer. So this will help you to see the recent cases as well. And if the and this is the entitlements, you can see the entitlements, and that will also show you that what is the current state of the contract with this customer. This here, what we talked about, the knowledge base articles, where you can that will help your support agent or the person that who is working on that whatever this actually picks from the case title, that is there any knowledge article, is there anything knowledge base in my particular repository that is already there that can help me to understand to resolve this case. So these are the already knowledge articles. We will further dig into that, how we can configure these knowledge articles and how we can further link that to the case. But to as a high level, you can see you just need to click over here and it will start searching for you the existing system knowledge article based on your case title. Furthermore, you can also search based on your keywords as well. And if there are knowledge articles that exist in the system, that will be automatically shown over here. Then you have case details where you can further give the information. Let's suppose subject, origin, product, and additional details like if there are any parent case. We talked about the parent-child case. If this would have been the child case, you will have the parent case automatically populated. Then some of the information like if you want that case to be escalated, this is the escalated field, follow-up field. This first response sent, this will be used for the SLA. We're gonna see that. And here you can see the case relationships as we discussed, that if we have a child cases, you can see the child cases, you can merge two cases and you can see over here. And if you have linked any knowledge article to your case, you can see that over here. And if your SLA is any SLA is binded to your case, you will see, we can see that in the SLA KPI instance, and we will walk through in our scenario, we will see that the SLA KPI instance record will be created and it will give you the timelines that when it's gonna fail it, when it's gonna, what is the warning time. These are the all options that we have discussed in the slide. You can further explore by clicking on them, canceling, resolving, and it will show you that what are the actions being performed. This is high level for the cases. So next is queues, which is one of the most important thing for to start with, right? What are queues? Queues are actually if there are multiple people working in your organization and multiple work people are actually looking for the cases, these queues will help you to categorize that which person should or which team should work into any specific case, right? So here you can see I've created some of the queues. From here you can see that I've created one support queue. I've created one queue which only deals with high priority cases. And also we have one queue which is Contoso coffee questions queue, that if there is any cases that are actually linked to some coffee questions, that will be routed to one of the teams. Let's suppose if there are multiple specialist teams that you have in your support and they have their own specialized areas, so based on your case criteria you can redirect your cases to those specialist queues. Like here I'm saying that if there are any high priority cases, I need to give them to my high priority cases queue, which is my senior team and which is my specialist team, or which is the team that will answer quickly. And I have my normal support queue. Over here, how you can route that directly to that particular queue. For that, what Dynamics 365 provide, I'll come back to the queue, but before that, what Dynamics 365 provide is the routing rules. We'll just go with the basic routing rules. What is routing rules? Routing rules are nothing but a rules to set that whenever that particular case comes in, to which queue or which team or which user it should go route to. All right. So there's one of the rules that I've already created. I'm just deactivating that so that I can show you the what are the functionalities in that. So what I did that we have created one routing rule, and this routing rule is actually you're creating for your case. I just name it for rule for case. And what are the items? What are the criteria? Here you can see that here I'm defining that if I have a higher priority cases, route it to higher priority cases queue. And now here I'm saying if there are low or medium priority cases, just route it to my normal support queue. How you can configure that? I'm simply just opening one of the records. It always takes a little bit time to open.
Pfizer, do you want to take 2 minutes break?
Uh, I'm okay for now. All right, so let it just load it. Okay, so if you have worked on the SLAs or anything, you would be, aware of this particular frame, but that's okay. How we are defining is very user friendly. I just name it to higher priority cases. All right. And now the rule criteria. Now you need to tell the rule that what is the rule that will help the system to identify that I need to route this case to this particular queue or the team or the user. So what we have said, you can set very complex rules as well. You can set a simple rules as well. So here I've set a very simple rule for the basic understanding that let's suppose I'm saying that if priority field of the case, we have so many fields on the case. From here you can select any of the field. But let's suppose I'm saying the priority of the case is high, route this particular to a queue which is a high priority case queue. This is a simple setting that you need to do. Routing rule also give you the option not just to route to the queue but to a user or a team as well. So if you select a user or a team, it will ask you which user, or if you're saying a team, it will ask you which team you want to route to. But since we are going with the basic flow, which is you route to a queue and any person from that queue can pick that up. So this is how simple the configuration is. You can make it complex by defining your further rule criteria that the subject should be this, then it should be route to this. This is how you configure that. Now if I simply save and close. Similarly, I have configured this to the low and medium cases. How we configure that? Simple, that if the priority of the case is not equal to high, or I would have configured that if the priority of the case equals to low or medium, route it to support queue. So I just made a simple query that for the high ones, just route it to the high queue. And for not equals to high, whatever is coming on the way, just route it to the support queue because they are going to manage that. Now, once you create the rule, you need to activate that. Unless you don't activate that, this rule won't be applicable for your cases. And for one case, for a case, you can only create one routing rule. You cannot have multiple routing rules. You can create multiple routing rules, but there can only be one activated routing rule. Now I'm making it active back again. So based on these routing rules, you have your queues. So let's suppose if you get your case and which has a high priority, based on this routing rule, system will identify, yes, it's a high priority case. It should go into the high priority case queue. In your high priority case queue, you will be seeing here, if you see all items and all queues, let's suppose you are one of the person and you are responsible to work on the support queue. You see the items, you can further create multiple views as well. As a Dynamics 365 provide you with provision to create multiple views, you can create multiple views as well. However, let's suppose if you work for the support queue only, so you have already a view and I have multiple items. So how, if I'm working on, if I need to pick one of the items so that there are multiple persons in a one team, I'm saying, okay, I'm picking the delivery issue 1. I'll simply click on that and it gives you the option to pick. When I click on pick, it will assign my name against the particular queue item. Here it's asking me that when I pick the item, do I want it to remove from the queue or do I want to keep it into the queue so that people can see that yes, it's an open item and I'm working on it. If I say yes, it will assign that particular case to me and remove it from the queue, right? But now for now I'm just keeping it for no. And you can see against this one, it's saying that it's assigned to the support queue and it's been worked by the Khan. So if any other person from my team is coming and saying that, okay, it's being worked, and if they want to have some sort of a query, and if they want to pick any case, they would know that they need to pick any other one. If I'm done with the work, I can just simply click on release and it will simply deassociate my name and somebody else can pick that up. Also, it also gives the
Faiza, sorry to cut you off here. Actually, we have a question.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
Can you please ask your question?
Yes, please. For picking a case to work, it should be assigned by the team leader, or anyone can pick the case. And the case, if I pick it, the other cases, it will be dimmed for me, so I can't pick more than one case. Because logically, someone maybe select the easiest case to work on it, but it should be managed by the team leader as per the team, the person capabilities and experience. Thank you.
Okay, your question is good, but actually this is something that is depending on functionality. Mostly, the assigning of the case depend on rule like based on teams and queue wise. So this is not something that anybody can randomly pick up some case. The particular related case will be assigned to particular user or team. So it will be a wise thing. Like we cannot select any case randomly by considering like this is the easiest case, so we can pick it. But more or less, it will be depending on scenario and functional wise, like which team will be assigning on particular scenario. So the case only related to that functionality will be assigned to it.
Which means that it should
Yeah.
be related to predefined queue, routing, as you mentioned earlier. So routing is assigned a group of case to the specific team, while the team can work in these cases. Correct?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
configure.
Yeah, and just to add on what Amna said, it's also depend on the security rules and everything as well. So the way you have configured it, what right you want to give to the manager and the individual users, and based on that, they will have the functionality where they can assign different cases to individuals as well. So, for example, in case of any escalation, you may want to have a queue that's the escalated queue, and in that you got the senior managers, yeah, escalation managers, and they are picking up all those specific cases and then assigning it to the senior member in the team. So depending on your configuration and the business requirement, but you can always do it different things.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Atif. Thank you.
All right, so shall we proceed now? Hello, can you hear me?
Yes. Please
Okay.
proceed.
All right, so let's quickly move. There's another functionality that, let's suppose if you want to route this particular case to a different team or user, you can also click on that route button on the top, and you can route it either to a different queue or a team, depends that what is the need of the business. And you can simply click from here. Let's suppose I say that for me, it seems like that it's a high priority case. Okay, so I simply routing it to the high priority case, and then this will be removed from this particular queue and will be shown into the high priority one. So this is around high level that how the queues work. And as per your question, it can be managed by anyone, depends what's your business scenario is. If it's just to be managed by the lead, that they are supposed to assign that to the particular team, they are going to do that. If it's been up to the team that it's been assigned to your team, and within the team member, they just go ahead and just pick their cases based on the priority, based on the availability, they can just go ahead, and you will have all the visibility that who is working on that. Okay, so now let's quickly move to the next important thing, which is your entitlements. Entitlements are a contract. So as we discussed, that what are entitlements? Entitlements are your contract if you have your customer and sorry. Okay. Can someone, I'm not sure who is it, but can someone please mute that person? Thank you. All right. So entitlements are the contracts. If I have one customer which is Fourth Coffee, right? And now I need to have a contract because I'm providing services to that particular customer, to that particular account. I'm creating a contract with that person. Now what entitlements has, it has so many information. Here we'll just quickly go that what are the basic things. In the entitlements, what I'm going to define that what is my customer against which this contract is about. I'm saying that this is my Fourth Coffee customer. It can be your any customer, any account. And then you're going to tell that how long is this contract, from what is the start date, what is the end date. Let's suppose if it's a yearly contract or a monthly contract, you can put your dates over here. Then you have an option which is restrict based on entitlement terms. I'll come to this particular option after I explain you this. And also, as we talked about, there are some service level agreements. You can associate a service level agreement against your entitlements. We'll go through the service level agreement as well, but against your entitlement, if you want to have any particular SLA that for, if let's suppose for that particular customer, whenever the case comes, you need to respond to it quickly. For that, you will set up a service level agreement. Okay. Furthermore, you can also set up your allocation types. What is allocation type? That you are actually bounding a contract that against this particular customer, I can only have this particular number of cases of this particular number of occurrences. So there are some options in the allocation types as well. So let's suppose the basic one that's being used is the number of cases. So I'm saying against my Fourth Coffee customer, I'll have only 50 cases with this customer. And when this
Faiza,
yes.
Faiza, we have another question.
All right, sure. And also, is it possible if we can take the questions at the very last or once that particular thing is completed? Yes, go ahead, please.
Please proceed with your question. Hisham, your hand is raised. Can you please ask your question?
Faiza, crack on. We'll pick up the question in the end.
Yeah. All right. Or you can just type your questions over the chat so that at the end, when we are picking it up, we can just go through all the questions together. Right. So decrease remaining on, that actually tells you you can set up your criteria that at what point do you want this
Sorry,
term to be decreased.
it's hang from my side and can't raise it down, or I can't remove it. So you can continue. Thank you.
No, please, that's okay. All right. So this decrease remaining on, you can set it up. This is how you're going to define that whenever you have a case, and on what basis we should say that, okay, this is one case per contract has been done. So we are saying whenever the case is resolved, it means that one case per this contract has been done. So this is the criteria that you can set. Now here we are saying total terms, how many cases you want as per this contract. So I'm saying 50 cases, and this remaining term will be automatically calculated once you activate the case and you start receiving the cases. This field now, it's actually asking you that do you want to restrict your contract? Let's suppose if all of your 50 are exhausted, 50 cases are done, do you still want the case to be created against that customer? I have made it as no, that I don't want to restrict it. Even after 50, I get the case, I'll take it up, but it won't be against this contract. But if I want to restrict it, I can restrict it by making it yes. Then if any other case I'm about to create against this entitlement, that won't allow me. So that completely depends that what is your dealing with your customer. Furthermore, you can also further categorize your contract based on your entitlement channels as well. If you want to categorize, let's suppose I'm saying that against my contract, I only want 50 cases from the emails, 5 from the phone activity, or I don't want to restrict that. What I want that from anywhere the cases is coming from, just take it. And if I want to restrict it that I don't want to allow more than 5 cases from the phone call, I can also monitor that from here as well and configure that. If my entitlement, if my contract is against a product, let's suppose I'm saying that we both have a contract that only for ABC product only, and any other product apart from that, we are not entitled to give you the services. You can provide those product information over there. If you don't provide the product information over there, it means that you are giving the services or the cases besides the products. It can be any product, or your contract is not related to the product at all. Furthermore, you can give the information about the contacts. Let's suppose you are saying that for this contract, only these particular people from that company can contact us. So this will also give you the information and to keep you track that this contract is only with ABC people with this customer. And if there's anybody else that is coming, we would have we have a contract, and that will help us to identify either what are the next steps that we need to do. This is, you can set up a contract between a customer and yourself, right? Now within a contract, one of the important thing was SL, that is not mandatory for the contract, but it helps you to improve your services. So in the SLAs over here, you can see there are two important things, which is SLA KPIs and service level agreements. Okay, before setting up the service level service level agreements, you need to set the SLA KPIs. All right, so
Faiza, would you like to take a break?
oh no, that's okay, I'll let you know.
Okay.
All right, so SLA KPIs. So one of the SLA KPIs I've already created for you to show. So SLA KPI, I can give any name. For example, I've said that it's a first response. That means that whenever the case comes against this particular contract, and if the SLA is binded to when is the first response that I need to send, right? This is the KPI, and I'll tell the entity name, which is case, because we are working on the case, and KPI field. If I deactivate that, out of the box, we have two options that are given by default, which is first response by KPI. I'll create a new one instead because it's not allowing me because it's already being used. So I'll just quickly create a new one, and I can show you over here what are the responses here. So case, okay, and there are the two by default options, which is first response by KPI, that is when should I give the first response, and the other is resolve by, when it should be resolved. So these are the out of the box two KPI fields that are being provided. However, you can configure further more KPIs, SLA KPIs, and then you can configure that. All right, so we'll go back to our scenario. Here we have said KPI field is first response by KPI, and applicable when will help you that from when you need this KPI to start from. So what we are saying that whenever the case is created, start this SLA. Or you can further, there are further options. You can select from the case field, and let's suppose you are saying that you need to start against some sort of a field, you can select that. But what I'm saying, whenever, as soon as a case is created, start this KPI and start monitoring that case. Furthermore, these are further advanced options. We won't go in detail, but these are some advanced options from where you can set that if you ever want to, let's suppose if the SLA has been started against a case and you, in certain conditions you want that SLA to stop, these are the pause conditions that you can configure from here. But we'll keep that simple, that there is no pause conditions, and you should just start the SLA KPI as soon as the case is created. Now into the service level agreements. Once you set up your SLA KPIs, that these are the KPIs, these are the high level configuration that you are doing. Now you're gonna create your service level agreement. Here, I've already created one service level agreement. This is for the entity case. Okay, you're gonna select the case. You can give your description. I've given the basic description that it's for case SLA. Now over here, you're gonna associate that SLA item that we have just created. And you can further configure that. So now, once I click on new, it asks me which KPI you wanted. So I said the KPI that we just created, which is first response by KPI SLA. And if I would have allowed the pause option, it would have given me the option over here. Now this is the important section, that when this SLA should start for this KPI, when is for what cases is it applicable for. So here what I say that for all the high priority cases, this is applicable. If I don't want to set such kind of a criteria, I won't set anything, and it will be applicable for all the cases against this SLA. Then we need to tell what are the success condition for this particular KPI response, right? So here we have said that I've said that you can configure that on your own. It's completely configured. But what I'm saying that whenever this first response sent, there's a field on your case. Whenever the first response sent is set as yes, whenever the user set as yes, make this first response KPI as success. Okay, you can further have your complex criteria, or keep it simple just by the field. Further, if you allow pause, you can configure that. Also, you have a time duration where you are saying what is the warning after. I'm saying that after 30 minutes, warn me. Okay, and when is the failure condition? After 1 hour, just make it as a fail, which means that if I receive my case and I don't respond, I don't have my first response, I do not do the first response in an hour, fail that particular SLA KPI, so that it can be monitored that I'm not, giving the correct services on time, right? And then you can further configure the actions over here. So once you click on the configure actions, I don't want to confuse by just configure the actions here, because it will open the Power Automate. Okay, over there you can create your flow. Let's suppose you are saying that if it's failed or success, you want a task to be created, you want a phone call to be created, or you want any sort of a field to be updated, you can configure that from here. These are the actions, right? But it's completely optional, but if you want to, it's giving you the option over here. So this section is completely configurable for you, that however, how you want to maintain, when, pause, success, failure, everything. All right, so I'll just activate that particular my SLA. If I don't activate that, that won't be applicable then. So wherever you're creating, be it entitlement, be it SLAs, you need to activate them, right? So that it will start working and it will start be applicable onto the cases. Now, we will quickly go to the knowledge base article. That is the last, most important thing for the customer service. Over here, knowledge articles, I said, is nothing but a kind of a repository where you can have your most common scenarios already maintained. Let's suppose if there are any delivery issues, what are the steps a support person needs to do, a guidance for that person. So there are already knowledge articles that out of the box data provides, but you can create your own as well. Let's suppose if I simply open the return and exchange knowledge article, you just simply need to, it's simple to configure. Just provide the title, provide the keywords. As you've seen on the case, I was just searching for a word and it was actually checking with the based on the case title. These keywords will help you to link or to search the knowledge article. It will better your search. So these are the keywords that you can provide. So whatever the keywords you feel that a user is going to add against this article, you can put that into the keywords. You can give the description in here. This is the content. Let's suppose if you want to provide some sort of steps, if you want to provide some sort of an information, it's completely open. Just go ahead. There's a designer, complete designer, HTML, you can paste images and everything. As much information you want to give, you can give that. And put your knowledge article over here. This is how you create your knowledge article. Okay, and as many as you want, you can just go ahead and create your knowledge articles. Knowledge article itself also has a business process flow. So this is out of the box business process flow. You can configure yours as well. So this is a kind of a guidance that you first, the author creates a knowledge article, then somebody else review it, and then you publish it. Okay. And here there's further tabs where you can see the summary, further details of the knowledge article, that what is the language, which is the version it is, and who created, who modified, you know, just for further information. Also related information that against which language it was being published. Here in the analyticals, that will give you that how good this knowledge articles and how useful this knowledge article is if you want to have a high level glance. Against the case you can also see, but against the knowledge article, this will give you that how many cases were actually linked to this particular case. If there is any feedback and rating that I have provided against the knowledge article from the case, what has been, how many views somebody has done. So this will also give you, and it will also help you know to manage that which knowledge articles are actually helping you, and if you want to improve any knowledge articles, this analytical view will help you. Now again, once you create the knowledge article, and these are the options, further if you want to create a versions, associate a category, these are the further knowledge article options, but this is what as a high level. Just go there, put the keywords and put the content. That's it. So we have covered cases, we have covered routing rules, we have seen knowledge articles, we have seen entitlements, SLAs, and high level that what we talked about the if we want to configure that whenever an email comes, automatically create the case. So for that to configure, you first need to have an email box configured. Okay, I'm not going into details how to configure the email box. That will actually divert to a different topic. But for that, you need one email box that you need to configure and enable that. Okay, you need to create a queue. Right, so here you can see that I've created one simple queue, that email to case queue, and I've mentioned one of the email addresses that whenever any email comes from this particular email box, just create a case. And into the queue you can see there are some record creation and update rules. This was the rule that I've gone from here. Over here what I'm saying, that queue to monitor, that whatever comes into that email box, this is the queue that you need to monitor. And what exactly you need to monitor? You need to monitor that any emails come to that particular queue. And what are the conditions? Let's suppose if this condition satisfy, that I got an email into that email box, that is the queue to monitor, what should happen? I'm saying that you can simply click on new and create that particular rule. So I'm saying create a case. I just gave a name. Okay, and here you can create the conditions. Here I have not set any condition. I'm saying whatever comes to that queue, just create a case. But you can create a condition as well. You can create a condition by adding a row. This particular framework, this particular design you're going to see in the SLAs. We have seen it here as well. So you're going to see it into multiple areas. So this is very simple. So here you are saying, let's suppose I'm saying if the email subject is this, only then create the case. If these are multiple things that you can see that the out of the box already provide, you can further configure that. But what I'm saying, I'm keeping it simple, that whatever comes to that queue, to that particular mailbox, just create a case. And here it says record to create. What do you want? I'm saying create a case. Okay, and you can further configure that into the Power Automate. Okay, to not overcomplicate things, I'm just opening the flow to show you that how it's already, the flow is already being configured as an out of the box, and what you need to do, simple. But we won't go into much depth, else people are gonna confuse, because it's it's now talk about the flow, which will actually a kind of a different area. So this is flow that is automatically created. This is already created against that record creation rule. You don't need to do anything. This is automatically identifying that from which contact or which account the email is coming from, what is it supposed to do. Either is it supposed to associate an account against it, either is supposed to associate a contact against it. All you need to do is to just come into this, create a record, do not rename step as it says, and configure this. Simple. Here it's automatically configured. Let's suppose the email subject is actually linked to your case title. Your customer account is actually linked to the email that being sent. If you want to configure it further, let's suppose you want to configure any other field. Let's suppose it says origin email, but you want it to be set to something else, you can set it up. These are all the fields that you see on your case form. And if you want to set something by default, you can configure that. This is the only thing that you need to do. Apart from that, everything is automatically already created, already provided into this particular rule. You don't need to do anything at all. It's that simple. You just need to come and configure based on your needs. And once you configure that completely and activate this, whenever an email arrives into the email box and it satisfies this criteria, a case will automatically be, an email will be generated and a case will be automatically created. You can also further set up automatic replies. Let's suppose if you want to automatically reply, you can also make it yes and associate an email template. But here I'm saying that I don't want to have any automatic reply. I'll just create the case, and once you receive the case, it will be automatically routed to a queue to a particular based on a routing rules if it's there, and then a complete cycle of the case manual will follow, right? So this is high level how you configure your automatic routing creation of case from your email. That was one of the topics of our today's session as well. This is what we have high level. Here you can see further more things, further more setting like parent-child relationship. You can out of the box further configure the parent-child relationships that we discuss about, that what are the fields should be copied from parent to child. Also, you can further classify that if your all the childs are closed, your parent should be automatically closed, or your parent cannot be closed until any of your child is open. So these are the out of the box. You can just simply select that and rest the system is going to manage for you. So this is out of the box, some of the parent-child relationship things. And as for now, these are the high level, basic customer service major components. I'm quickly gonna go through one flow of, I'll go into the account. Let's suppose I go into the account, okay, and I'm saying that I'm having a phone call with this particular customer, with the fourth coffee customer. I'll simply click on phone call, and I'm saying just service related call. Okay. I can further describe it that this is an outgoing call. If I want to put the number, I can put the number, and I'll simply save and close. So this is my service related call. I just open the call. And let's suppose based on when I'm on the call, we understood that there is something that we need to raise, and there's a case that needs to be created. So there's some, let's suppose if an information a person needs, this particular client needs some information. So I can just simply come here, convert to, and click on case. This out of the box option is being provided to some of the basic entities, that's a phone call, email, task, appointment. Further, you can configure that for your custom entities as well. But for the out of the box, you will automatically get this convert to case option. Now, once you click on convert to case, it will ask you the subject. So I'm saying that it's something with the service issues. Okay, and then it asks you, shall I open the new case? Okay, and shall I change this phone call activity to completed, or do I want it to keep it open? I'm saying keep it, please close this and create the new case. Now this is how simply you will create the case. And this will open the case. this will complete the phone call activity automatically, and you will have your case created with the subject, and that will be linked to your customer automatically. This is how your case is created. And now you can see that this contract, because I've made this contract, entitlement contract, as my default contract. So this contract is automatically linked over here. Okay. Also further, if I want, I can, okay. So my other contract is actually deactivated, but I can also, that entitlement, I can just open that entitlement and activate that as well. So I can activate this entitlement as well, and I already have this entitlement, right? So this is my particular case, and now you have an entitlement. Let's suppose this entitlement, I'll just simply save it. And here you can see it has been created from the phone call. This is out of the box business process flow. However, you can configure based on your needs as well. And here you can see the contract has been there. You can search for the recent cases. Now I get that case. I got it from the queue. And let's suppose I pick that from the queue. I can go into the knowledge articles to quickly see that if there is anything that will help me. So here you can see, yes, there are some of the items. I open that item and see, yes, this seems relatable. I can just simply click on this and I can link this particular knowledge base article against my case as well. So when you go into the analyticals of that knowledge articles, this case, you can see that's being linked. Also, you can, if you find this particular knowledge articles useful and you see that this can be sent to your particular customer, you can simply click on email and send out that to your customer as well. And that completely knowledge article will be pasted over here and you can send it out as well. Okay. Also, if you see details over here, you can see these are the details that are here. And if they're, then if you, let's suppose if you perform that particular action and if it's done, you simply click on resolving the case. Just click on resolve and that it will give you either the problem has been resolved or the information provided. Let's suppose if the information was needed and I send out that knowledge articles, I said, yes, information has been provided. Information has been, okay. That will give you the total time is already being monitored, and this is around the billing related information. Any remarks if you want to give, just click on resolve. So once you resolve, you can see that this is automatically marked as resolved and your case will be locked, read only, and this tells you that this case has been resolved. For any reason, if you want to reactivate that case, you can just simply click on reactivate and it gives you the provision to reactivate as well. All right, I'll give you some of the example just to wrap it up. That some of that, let's suppose this is my contract where the SLA was entitled and I wasn't able to provide that in time. It says expired. Okay. And here you can see that whenever the SLA is linked to the case, it actually gives you the statuses. It tells you the what is the failure time and what is the warning time. We can further see one or more cases. Here you can see here is also expired. If it's successful, it will give you successful. But if it's not successful, it will start giving you different statuses, but depends on what has been configured. So this is what out of the box customer service provide. If I quickly recap, what are the major components that we talked about? We talked about cases. What is exactly the case management itself? Okay. Then we talked about everything else you see was related to cases. The routing rules, the queues, the knowledge articles that supports the cases, the entitlements that helps you to contract with the customer, the SLAs that helps you to maintain the services and maintain the knowledge quality services and maintain your KPIs. That's your SLAs. And also we see that how the case can be created either by manually or either by configuring to automatically create from emails. So this is what the basic components that we have in our customer services, and that gives you the powerful platform to maintain the relationship with your customer and to monitor that how good services we are providing and how happy the customer is with us. And this can be completely configurable. This is not necessary that you are binded to use these fields or this particular form or this business process flow. You can utilize, you can leverage the case management functionality and use as per your business. Configure that, configure your forms, configure your fields, and use out of the box features to create the cases, manage them with your customer, and performs the operations. So this wraps up with the customer service basics of customer engagement.
Excellent, Faiza. We have a query from Sana. Sana, would you like to ask?
Yep, thank you so much. First of all, thank you so much, Faiza. That was really helpful, and you covered pretty much all the aspects. I just wanted to ask a question regarding, case management. That although we did discuss about, if there are any expired cases or completed cases, what about the scenarios in which you need to escalate, the case to different teams, or there might be some, I don't want to go there, but if there is any link with, warranty management, or you need to replace something, so definitely there are multiple teams working on that case. So what is the kind of tracking which is available for this scenario? And my second question regarding this is that when we talk about, assigning a case to a queue, is there any workflow management? I'm not sure whether workflow management is the right term, but how do you manage things like, if there is a queue, or a case is assigned to maybe a manager, then a senior manager. So is there a link with the position hierarchy of HR, or is this just configured in customer service module? Thank you.
Well, both of your questions are great. First of all, I would like to know if Faiza would like to answer these questions.
Yeah, definitely I try to, but I would need a little for a 2 minutes break for myself. And yes, I definitely.
Okay, so in the meantime, Sana, I would like to tell you, like, the answer for both of your queries is both of these functionalities are easily configurable in customer engagement, and both are fully, available within domain of customizations. Like, we can achieve it for the first scenario. We can definitely assign cases using workflows.
Mm-hmm.
ਗੱਲਾਂ ਕਰਦੇ ਨੇ ਟਕੇ ਟਕੇ
I think somebody got unmuted.
Yep, I think it's fine now.
Yeah. So, so your first question was related to the case assignment, like we can assign case, right?
Yep.
So definitely we can. There are different ways we can do this functionality. Like, we can do the configurations in customer engagement to achieve this case assignment functionality, or we can provide a core hard code functionality using client side customizations as well as server side customizations. If you go with client side, so you can easily configure workflows where you can set up conditions to assign a particular case to a particular team, or to escalate this particular case on particular condition. So there are like several ways to do this, to perform this action and to achieve this goal. And for your second question, that is also a part of configuration. Like, we can do that. using security roles, using your team configurations, you can assign a particular case to multiple teams based on particular condition. You can change the assignment and that ownership of that particular case.
All right. Okay. Yep, I think that serves the question. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Faiza, if you're back and if you want to add anything further on this. Okay. If not, then Amna, if you can take the question from Bill, I guess it's Bill Maksud.
Yes, please proceed
Thank
with
you.
your question.
Thank
Bill,
you.
first tell
It's
me your
actually
full
Bilal.
name.
I don't know why it's sorry. Yeah, it's Bilal Maksud. I don't know why it's saying Bill for some reason. Anyways, thank you so much, organizers. Thank you so much. It has been really knowledgeable. It is my first session. I was referred by one of my friend. It has been great. Thank you, Faiza, for sharing your knowledge. I have a question and a couple of requests. So I will request the first. I've sent a follow request. I think I found it a page on LinkedIn, and I think this is where you actually share all of your knowledge. If there is any YouTube channel or anything where I can just go and have like all of the recorded session, that will be great. And then you mentioned, Faiza, in your presentation that you actually there's some kind of a link to some certain apps where we can practice. I will appreciate if I can have that as well. So the question is about when you were mentioning parent and child cases. So there can be like several cases, child cases in one parent case. So is there any functionality that if we have all of the child cases, let's say if all of the child cases are solved, it automatically triggers something and then it closes the parent case? Is there anything where we can do that? Thank you.
Yes. Sorry. Yes, so I've explained that. I can further tell that. And it's a parent-child case relationship. That's out of the box, which is already provided, where you can configure over here that if all your child cases are closed, the parent case automatically closes, or you can further restrict that you cannot close any of your child case until your parent case is closed. So this is the configuration and the scenario that you ask. You don't need to code anything, nothing. You just need to come here into parent-child case relationship and set this here. As soon as you complete all of your child cases, your parent case will automatically be closed. You don't need to do any sort of a development or anything.
Thank you.
Hope that answers your question. Yeah.
Thank you.
And Bilal, your question around the recording. So I've just copy pasted the link for you in the chat group. I don't know if you can see the chat. So that's there. All the recording is available. And we have also uploaded the recording in the Teams channel as well. So if you have access the team and if you will select the organization Dexter, then you should be able to connect with the Pakistan Youth Group channel group, and you should be able to see all the recording under the content. So please have a look, and if you still have the question, feel free to reach out via LinkedIn. We should be able to provide you all the details in case you need anything else.
Much appreciated. Much appreciated.
No problem.
Thank you so much. I for some reason I can't access the chat. I'm on my cell phone, but yes, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you.
In case if anybody have any issues with the chat link or anything, you can reach us out over the email that we have provided for Pakistan user group, or you can easily reach out to us over LinkedIn page. And you can also access our YouTube channel. And besides that, before proceeding with the ending of the session, we all are very grateful to Faiza for delivering such a wonderful session. Besides, she is not fully fit. At the moment, she is really sick, but still she managed to present the session. So thank you so much, Faiza, for this insightful session. And thank you, audience, for joining us. If anybody have any query or concerns, please proceed.
Yeah, so thank you everyone. Thank you for the organizers, and thank you everyone for attending, and happy to help whenever. And in case if there are any questions that are not answered, and if you have any queries, you can reach out directly to me in the LinkedIn account as well, and onto this group as well. So we are happy to help. And thank you all for joining this session. Hope this helps you to understand the basics.
Hey, ma'am, I have a question regarding this session. Ma'am, there is my first session today. I joined. I have some question. Kindly give me the link previous sessions. We can see these sessions.
Okay, so Hamza, can you also see the link, chat options?
I cannot found right now.
Okay.
Yeah, in any case, you don't find the chat option. If you go to the YouTube channel and just search for the Pakistan user group, just go to the YouTube channel and search for the Pakistan user group. So you'll find out one playlist is for Pakistan user group training sessions, and just follow those sessions from there.
Okay.
Yeah,
And,
start from the session 1. Yeah.
yes, it's Faisal Farid here. So on behalf of Pakistan user group, I would really like to thank Faiza to you. I know you were not feeling well last week and also not feeling well today, but it's been a great show from your side. Thank you so much for joining us today. We really appreciate, and I really like and enjoyed the whole session with you, Faiza.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Faisa. Hope you feel better soon.
Thank you
And
so much.
looking
Thank you.
forward to hear more from you again and your
Sure.
organizers as well.
Thank you so much,
Perfect.
everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a nice weekend.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay.
Thank you for joining.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, everybody. Bye.